Hey everyone, yareli just got a new augment and I prepared three builds for you. The first one is going to be about a new augment, the second one is going to be about the free ability kind of scaling, and the last one is going to be about the secondary weapon scaling. All of the augments are very powerful and allow you to do different things. The augment that is here is Loyal Merulina. It allows you to not write Merulina, which gives you a lot of possibilities. Like you can use your still you can use your secondaries, but you can also use your primaries and melee weapons. And the melee weapon is kind of the important thing. The downside is that you lose knockdown immunity, so you need to use something that helps you up. I don't have Prime Shot for it. I mean, I have it, but it's not like fully maxed out yet. So this is kind of my setup, but you will eventually want it. As arcanes, you want either something defensive or something that allows you to deal more damage. I use Arcane Strike because it's very powerful, a lot of attack speed which you don't get that easily. Arcane Avenger is the filler thing. It's not that powerful. It helps here, but you can like change it with something defensive, for example. Aura, the best if you want to go melee is Steel Charge. You can probably go for Corrosive Protection. Uh, but if we talk about the Archon shards, the best ones are probably those who reduce armor, gives you the ability to apply more corrosion stacks. I don't have them right now, so probably the best thing for me would be to go for some slash based weapon. I have Dark Swords here, which I use a lot. Actually, Tekko is yeah. This is my slash based weapon. I'm not sure how much status it has. Let's try it. I cannot probably get some status, so we will see that. Um, or you can use some like a high status based weapon and then get healing return and make yourself even tankier. But I will go for Tekko. Secondary weapon or primary should be your primer. I use secondary for primer, and as primary I use Cernos to pretty much do the same thing which my ultimate does, but without the cost of energy. Another great thing about that you are not forced to be on Merolina is that you can use helmet all the time. You don't need to hop down from Merolina, and you can use the helmet. I don't have helmet right now, but I would suggest you to replace Riptide. It is the least important ability. Number one gives you damage vulnerability on enemy and stuns him. It's pretty powerful. Number two, it's not negotiable, like 90% damage reduction. Where do you get it? It's very powerful. Number three, it does a lot of damage even against like heavy targets or like high level targets, and it stuns enemies. And it's especially good for melee Merolina, so I would not change that. The only thing that kind of has its downside is its ultimate. It's not that powerful, it doesn't have that great of a pull radius, and it's not even important. But the biggest downside is the high drain cost. So yeah, probably replace ultimate with anything you want, and it will be even more powerful. Also, when it comes to the Archon charts, yeah, I already talked about it a little bit. This is not fully optimized. I have armor because it's kind of hard for really to get armor. So I've achieved like 75% or like something like that damage reduction, 78. So I'm very tanky, but I don't have much of a damage amplification. So the damage that you will see is not the absolute high end. You can get probably much higher with the Archon charts and with helmet. Yeah, let's go. Let's see, I pretty much destroy them. Apply some viral procs, and then destroy the enemies much easier. If you are free, you can see that the enemies are in constant stagger, and this is not only on the like outside. This also works when enemy is quite close to you, like right now. So that's pretty good. And you do a lot of damage. You are very tanky, and you have the freedom of movement, which the previous yareli didn't have. And yeah, if you get the helmet ability and get the right Archon shards, you can deal a lot of damage. Now, the another yareli is built around abilities. I have yareli ability, and for this, it's extremely important to go casting speed Archon shards. And I will kind of show you how it works. This is, I would say, the most interesting one. You can play around with it a lot. So, um, this augment pretty much tells you that you infinitely scale your damage on free, but not on the ability itself, on the another ability that you get. And the ability throwing rate is affected by casting speed. So that's why we want the casting speed charts. Then the longer duration you have, the longer you can stack it. So you can theoretically get infinite damage, but to get there you need infinite duration. So the higher the duration, the better. And then it scales from base damage. So the more base damage, the better. And it's not only like that strength helps your aqua blades. It also helps your one. So if you use it in combination with your free, you pretty much double dip on ability strength. And if you have roar, it like increases its power with ability strength, and it makes your bleeds double dip. So you like one dip, two dip, and quadruple dip on ability strength. So that's the reason why we want as much as possible. So growing power, more augmented, more vigor. As school, we go for Zenuric, which will give you a hardened Wellspring, which gives you even more ability strength, and you can get quite a lot. As weapons, you want something that primes enemies, and you want it like you will not use your primary weapon that much, but definitely secondary weapon needs to be a primer. This one is, let's put spam AoE. This is the primer. It does have viral, nice viral heat. That's what we want. And let's go. So you kind of start like this. You go into operator, you start spamming, use your free because it has longer duration. Then you spam again, you get 4. Then you spam again, you get 2. Then you spam again, and you will use primer, use 1, and then throw your first. And you will see that it does some damage, but the damage is not that high yet. In order to get high damage, you need to stack it. So go into groups of enemies and stack the damage. Just by standing there, you can see at the top that I have 20,000 damage, and it kind of ramps up. And I still have like 80 seconds left. So I ramp it up, and it does more and more damage. And it ramps up quite like fast. And even without like throwing my free ability, it does quite a lot of damage. So let me now throw the ability. Yeah, you kind of destroy them. And this is without using by 1, which multiplies the damage by 3, I think. And without using viral, which also multiplies the damage, like depending on the amount of virals, many times. So you can get quite a lot of damage. As you can see, 800,000 damage. This wasn't that high, probably the enemies didn't have viral on them. Let's explore again. Set my 1 up. Apply some virals. Throw it. And it did a lot of damage. 600,000 damage. So yeah, as you can see, you can get a lot of damage. And this is with lot of like downtime. I could still like stack this damage to like 100,000, 150,000 probably. And I still have not like fully maxed my mod augmented. So I could deal like a lot more damage. So yeah, this is definitely able to destroy a lot of enemies. Like those were those were like steel path having armors. You do bypass their armor because you do slash procs, and it does lots of damage. The downside is kind of that you need to stack it. You need to use your abilities to buff your damage. But if you do that, the damage is crazy. I haven't personally played with this that much because the ability throw is on free, which my finger that I use for it, I usually use to press D. So if I want to throw, I pretty much cannot like move right. So that's kind of the downside. It's kind of the key binding issue. So I might maybe rebind it, but I didn't. So I don't use this as much. But this is pretty powerful. And then we have the secondary based array. And this one is the one that I play the most. It's the most comfortable for me. And it's the oldest, which is also the reason why I played it so much. And yeah, it's using Marina Guardian. In order to proc it, you need to be on your Marina. The Marina needs to have some health missing. So if the maximum health that she has right now is 10,800, she needs to take some damage in order for it to happen. Then you need to use your one, kill the enemy, and if you heal the Marina, she will give you buff. And it's like 2000 reload speed and fire rate for your secondary weapon, and it will make like your weapons much stronger. Combine it with your passive, which is 200% increased critical strike chance, you have quite decent damage. And then you combine it with Archon shards. You get critical strike chance. And what is very important if you want to do the maximum amount of damage is Emerald shards. You need at least one Tau Forged or two, like whatever ones you want. And then you will deal a lot of damage. There is quite a lot of weapons that you can use, but right now, currently, the strongest is probably Atomos. Um, Theoretically, on paper, Kuhanu Core is better, but practically it's bugged, so it's doing like, well, it has 2 times less fire rate than it should. I've already reported this bug, but currently, yeah, Atomos is better. As a melee weapon, you won't accelerate because it's able to equip this mod, which will buff your secondary weapon even more, like give it 45 fire rate. I use Life Strike because sometimes I can heal myself, but I've never used it. Then primary weapon, something that gives you utility if you sometimes might want. I use Scorch Prime because it allows me to apply headshots, and yeah, it is pretty decent if you need headshots. For example, if I have Kohma Career, it is kind of dependent on headshots because if I use Arcane Pistolier on headshot kill, I will get a lot of ammo efficiency. And without ammo efficiency, I'm kind of very fast out of bullets. And if you imagine like me having 200% fire rate on top of that, they go out like very fast. So to get a headshots, you can either use your one to lob the enemies in the air, or if it's like infested and it's hard to hit their heads, use your primary weapon and then try to hit their heads. And eventually you will hit the heads and then you will be able to destroy everything. Yeah. It's not the best yareli weapon because you are relying on the headshots. Without them, it's kind of weak. Or not weak, but not that powerful. But yeah, it's a pretty decent weapon. So that is that. For all versions, probably Driga, which is able to apply viral, is the best companion. And what else? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Also, I'm going to show you my best weapon at the most. And there is many good weapons. There is Latum, there is Spore Lancer, but this one is so smooth, so powerful, and it's also kind of ammo efficient, even without the arcane pistolier. You can just switch to your arcane mode and then have like 21, I think, more bullets, which also deal decent damage. Let me try it. They are not that great against heavily armored enemies because without armor strip, it's not that powerful. But even without the armor strip, it's pretty decent. So let's try it. Yeah, I absolutely destroy them. So yeah, those are the three playstyles you can play with yareli. You can play anything you want, like everything is powerful in yareli. Melee, if you have good melee, it's pretty good. Secondary, if you have good secondary, it's pretty good. Uh, Ability, if you like get all the buffs, it's pretty powerful. So you can play pretty much anything you want, and it will be powerful. But min-maxing is the key. Using the right helmets, using the right shards, using the right weapons, and upgrading them. All of it matters. So thanks for watching. See you next time.